Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with part 2 of winter to spring transitional fragrances. So I pulled, I think there's 14 more fragrances here that I am super excited to start wearing in this transition season. I chose today to film part 2 of this because it is like 74 degrees outside. It is breezy, it is perfect. We're having like perfect weather. And yeah, I thought it would be a good day to film part 2. So I'm gonna jump right in. Again, I've got like 14 fragrances here. So I'll start with one that you saw in the thumbnail, and that is Chanel Chance Eau Vive. So this is my one Chanel Chance that I always forget about. For whatever reason, I will just forget to wear this one. But this is like the perfect time. This is kind of a perfect all year round fragrance. This one is super bright, light, crisp. It's got tons of citruses in the top. It's got some florals in the middle and some woods in the base. And it's really, really beautiful. This one is really, really fresh when you first spray it on, but as it dries down, you kind of get this really beautiful, slightly sweet, kind of perfumey, woody floral, which I love. It's like the perfect fragrance to take you out of cold weather and into spring. Yeah, it's really, really fresh when it first goes on, but this is one that it dries down to be a little bit heavier than what it smells like initially, as well as it dries down to be really, really cozy smelling. It's one that I really love to wear in warm weather because I love cozy smelling fragrances all year round. So this is a good one to wear just anytime in the heat if you're like me and you like cozy fragrances. So anyways, that is the first one. That is Chanel Chance Eau Vive. Okay, this next one this is another great transition fragrance. This is Elizabeth and James French Grey. And oh my gosh, do I love this. It's only 3 notes, just like all of the other ones. And this one is Neroll and Lavender and Musk, I believe, if I remember correctly. Oh, this one's beautiful. This one leans unisex, but this one's super cozy to me because of the lavender. And it's more of a clean lavender. It's like a clean, musky lavender. And the lavender and neroli balance each other out just perfectly. It's not a super sharp neroli smell, and it's not a super herbaceous lavender. It's like this really beautiful mix of lavender and neroli, and then it's musky because of the musk. It's beautiful. It's a super clean, cozy, very unisex, very, very slightly sweet fragrance. I love it. This is my favorite time of year to wear. This is in the transition from winter. I'll wear this any time of year though. It's a great, just clean scent. It's an easy reach. This is one that I love spraying on when I get out of the shower. It's just a beautiful fragrance. I love it. So anyways, that is Elizabeth and James French Grey. It's such an underrated, really, really nice fragrance. Okay, next we've got an Untamed fragrance. I've been holding on to this one just for this season. I just think this is going to be a beautiful warm weather fragrance, but this has got so much body to it that it's going to be a wonderful transition fragrance. And that is Untamed Running with Wolves. So this one, this is so good. This is like sweet florals, berries. You get an earthiness, like this really beautiful earthiness, a slate greenness, but it's sweet. This has got tuberose in it, and it's just beautiful. It's so incredibly unique, but this is the most beautiful, like rich, sweet floral with just some beautiful supporting notes. And it is, again, like it's going to be a cozy floral. I have given this a good full wear test in the cold weather, and it is stunning in cold weather, but I just have a feeling that I'm going to love this in the warm weather. It's just such a beautiful warm weather fragrance. It's an all year round fragrance really, but it's a stunning, like cozy, sweet floral that is going to make a wonderful transition fragrance from cold days of winter into the spring. So anyways, that is Untamed Running with Wolves. Such a beauty. Okay, this next one, I'll wear this any time of year, but I love this as a transition fragrance going from winter to spring. It's a little too light for winter for me. Yeah, so usually by the time spring rolls around or it's transitioning into spring, I am so ready for this. And that is Love Chloe from Chloe. This is a beautiful powdery floral. It's very slightly sweet. It's like a very slightly sweet but very powdery floral. And I love this fragrance. But like I said, it is a little too light for me for winter time. But it's perfect because of the powderiness. Again, it's got that beautiful coziness that I'm still looking for when it's not quite warm enough for spring fragrances. But I'm done with winter. I'm over winter fragrances. It's like the perfect transition for me. That is Love Chloe. Such a beautiful discontinued gem. Okay, this next one, again, you're gonna see a running theme here. I love my transitional fragrances to still be cozy. I like pretty much all of my fragrances to feel cozy to me, to bring me some form of comfort. And all of these do. And for me, I want my transitional fragrances to still give me that cozy comfort, but to have moved me away from the heavier winter fragrances. So, and this one here is, again, a perfect transition fragrance. This is Ralph Lauren Beyond Romance. And it was on a live one time, which I'm going to do another live very soon. It's like I'll get on the roll of doing them and then somehow I'll fall off. But anyways, this was recommended to me on a live one time, and a lot of people in the comments were saying, you've got to try Beyond Romance. It's beautiful. It's like a creamy raspberry fragrance. And it is. It really is. It is the most beautiful raspberries and cream. It's sweet. It's cozy. It's yummy. It's leaning gourmand. It's beautiful. I'm not usually the biggest fan of like fruity fragrances, but this one is done so well. I love it. And I love tender romance for transitioning into fall from summer. It is one of my favorites. But coming out of winter and going into spring, this is just perfection. Beautiful, sweet raspberries and cream is exactly what you get from Beyond Romance. So anyways, yeah, that is Ralph Lauren Beyond Romance. Okay, next this one is another one that was subscriber recommended, and I ran out and bought it immediately. This is Madamoiselle Rochas from Rochas. Tell me that is not the most beautiful bottle too, with this really innocent looking white grosgrain ribbon, and then the beautiful, very delicate pink bottle. It's just really pretty. And then I love it. The ribbed glass, everything about it is just really beautiful. This fragrance is stunning. This is a rose. It's like a sweet, fresh, very slightly green rose, but it's got a creaminess to it. A warmth. It's got like this really beautiful, warm, slightly creamy base. It's not an overpowering like creaminess. It doesn't drown out the freshness and the very slight green quality to it. It just amplifies it. It's beautiful. It's like, yeah, if you're looking for a really beautiful, creamy, slightly sweet, kind of billowy rose, that is, yeah, just really, that's like really cozy and gorgeous. This is definitely a perfect transition fragrance because it's got such a nice coziness undertone to it while still being really fresh and spring-like. It's beautiful. This is one that, again, can be worn all year round for sure, but I love this as a transition fragrance. I think I wore this as a transition from summer to fall as well. But I do find that I reach for this one as a transition. It's beautiful. It's really underrated too. I don't hear anybody talk about anything really, to be honest, but I never hear anybody talk about Mademoiselle Rochas. So yeah. Yeah, and thank you so much to the person that recommended this to me. You know who you are. And I absolutely love this. So yeah, that is Rochas, Mademoiselle Rochas, such a beauty. Okay, next we have a Lush fragrance. Most of my Lush fragrances I found are cozy fragrances. I just love a cozy fragrance, and more of them. I've got a few that are warm weather appropriate, especially this next one, but a lot of them are cold weather fragrances. But this one here, this one is called Pansy. I think Pansy has been discontinued, which is super, super sad. But this one is gorgeous. This is like citrus and rosemary and labdanum. So it's got this really fresh citrusy kind of fragrance, but it's got that labdanum in the base is really, really prominent. So it's like a really, really cozy fragrance that has a freshness to it. So it's totally appropriate to wear if you are a cozy fragrance lover like I am, and you're still looking for something light and moving into spring, but getting away from your heavier fragrances like Rose Jam and Rentless and 1,000 Kisses Deep, which are like some of my favorite winter Lush fragrances. I love moving into lighter ones like Pansy and American Cream, they're still super cozy, but they're a little bit more fresh smelling. And that's how Pansy is. It's beautiful. I love this fragrance. It's one of my favorite Lush fragrances. It just smells like a fresh bar of soap, but kind of resinous, but like a fresh resinous. It's not like it's not like a deep winter resin. It's like a fresh spring resin. It's just beautiful. I love it. So anyways, that is Pansy from Lush. I can't wait to wear that one. Okay, this next one is one that this is good for all year round. I wear this fragrance anytime. I don't wear it a ton anymore because it's been discontinued and it's really hard to find. But I will literally wear this anytime. But this is such a cozy, clean fragrance. This is JLo Glowing, and this is like a fresh fragrance, but it's got a powderiness to it. Like a very slightly sweet. And when I say sweet, it's more of like a sweet greens kind of fragrance. Yeah, it's like sweet greens and a slight powderiness. It's beautiful. This is one of those fragrances that is very hard to pin down. It's a hard one for me to explain because it's very, very unique, and it does not smell like a celebrity fragrance at all. This is probably one of the most unique celebrity fragrances in my collection. This is up there with like Kate Walsh Boyfriend, where it just doesn't smell like a celebrity fragrance at all. It's so stunning. You could put it in any bottle and rename it something else and charge way more for it because it just smells so much more, expensive than it was. But yeah, this one I do have to ration at this point because I'm afraid I just don't want to be without it. But it really is a perfect spring transition fragrance because you get that kind of sweet, delicate greens, but it's got this really cozy powderiness. So it's like you haven't quite stepped away from your cozy winter fragrances, but it's still super fresh for spring. So yeah, it's a great one. So that is JLo Glowing. I wouldn't say that Glowing is a safe blind buy because it's very unique, and I don't think that it would be everybody's taste, but it is very, very beautiful. Okay, this next one is a Zara fragrance, and I love anything with ambrette in it. Ambrette to me is super cozy, and I love warm weather fragrances that are made with ambrette. Well, it just gives them a lot of coziness, and I love that in a warm weather fragrance, but it's still fresh and light. And Rosy Mousseline definitely fits the bill. So these are all, from what I understand, this line from Zara was all like Byredo dupes. and I can't remember. I'll have it on the screen. I'll put it next to the name of what this is supposed to be a dupe for. I'm not super familiar with Byredo fragrances. I've only tested a couple of them. But I've heard that these are like really good dupes, like really pretty spot on. But yeah, this is beautiful. This is rose and ambrette or musk mallow and something else. I think it's only like 3 or 4 notes. But it's a really beautiful, fresh, but cozy rose because of that beautiful ambrette. Ambrette to me gives a touch of like almost a powdery quality or something in between like powder and rice. A note like that, but it really brings a coziness to fragrances in my opinion. And I love it. So yeah, this is my favorite time of year to wear Rosy Mousseline just because it's such a beautiful, cozy, but still fresh spring fragrance. Okay, and the same thing with this next one. If I remember correctly, this also has ambrette in it. This is Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink. And yes, this is pear. This is like a very slightly sweet, almost a very slightly musky pear. But I'm pretty sure this is pear and ambrette as well. And I adore this. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is one that I'll reach for any time of year as well. But I love it as a transition fragrance, either going from winter to spring or from summer to fall, because it's got such a beautiful coziness to it. This one smells really expensive too. You can definitely find like a pear and ambrette combination in a lot of different fragrances. There's a clean, I think it's Solar Floral or something like that. Solar Flowers maybe. I'm pretty sure that's a pear and ambrette combination. Ellis Brooklyn has a pear and ambrette combination. Even Ariana Grande, I think God is a Woman is a pear and ambrette combination. This one is just super elevated smelling. It's like an expensive pear and ambrette combination, and it is stunning. The pear is not super synthetic smelling. It's really soft. It's really cozy. This one does wear quite close to the skin, but it lasts forever on. This is one that I will go to town. I'll do 10, 12 sprays of this, but this is one that 10, 12 sprays and I'm good for the entire day. It does wear quite close to the skin, but I can smell it all day and other people can smell it all day. Oh, it is so beautiful. It's delicate but cozy at the same time, which is why I love it. So anyways, that is Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink. Okay, next we have another discontinued fragrance. This is another one that I ration. I only wear this one like twice a year because I do not want to be without this fragrance. This is Valentino Donna Acqua. So this is another pear fragrance, but this is almond and pear. So this is like a gourmand almost. It's a little bit, it's very slightly perfumey, so it's maybe a little bit too perfumey to be considered a true gourmand. But it definitely leans gourmand. This is beautiful, fresh pear and like sweet candied almonds. It's also got sweet florals in the middle. It's got, if I remember correctly, this one's got frangipani in it. Frangipani and maybe jasmine. But oh my gosh, is it beautiful. This is a heavy fragrance to me. It's funny because the name is a little bit deceiving. Donna Acqua makes it seem like it's going to be like this, really fresh, light fragrance, and it's definitely not. This is definitely rich, sweet, syrupy, candied almonds and pear. It's gorgeous. This one to me is a little bit too heavy for summertime. This is my favorite time of year to wear this, is in a transition season. So from winter to spring or from summer to fall, even fall to winter, because this is quite a like heavy, almost candied smelling fragrance. It's beautiful though. This is a very highly complimented fragrance for me as well. A lot of people really love this one. It's just, who doesn't love pear and almonds? It's so good. So anyways, that is Valentino Donna Acqua. I usually wear it once in the transition into spring and once in the transition into fall. And then I put it away for the year because I don't want to be without it. And it's gotten super difficult to find. Okay, 3 more. So this next one, this is another one that I can wear this any time of year. It's perfect year round, but I love this when it's going from cold weather into warm weather. This is just the original Lalique, and oh my gosh, this is such a beautiful, like, sweet 90s floral. Oh, I love this. This one reminds me a little bit of Issey Miyake Pleats Please Low, just a little bit. But this one definitely has much more of a 90s vibe to it. Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. This is another one that has pear in it. Oh my gosh, and do I love it. But this also has cloves in the top. It's not like an overpowering clove note. It definitely doesn't smell like clove cigarettes or anything that overpowering. It's got a ton of notes in it. It's got a lot of florals. It's got everything. It's got like rose and jasmine and iris, like a ton of florals, but none of them are overpowering. None of them stick out, and they're all tempered by this beautiful clove note. It's also got, I'm pretty sure this one has cassis in it, and it's also got vanilla in the base. It's so good. It's one of my favorite Lalique fragrances, like, ever, because not only does it give me the 90s vibes, I don't know, it somehow smells modern still. And there's something about that darn spice note, the clove in it. It's just beautiful. It's cozy, but still kind of fresh smelling and slightly sweet. This is like a perfect all year round fragrance. It would also make a perfect signature. Oh, it's just beautiful. I love it. If you are a 90s fragrance kind of gal, I think you would really, really like this. This is one of the better 90s smelling fragrances that I've smelled too. This is one that can still hold its own, even still today. Some of them are kind of vintage smelling, and they definitely smell vintage smelling. This one kind of does, but at the same time, it doesn't. It smells, I don't know, it smells like, it's hard for me to explain this one, but it's a really good one. So do I think it's safe? Sort of. I don't think that there's many people that would smell this and hate it, but I think that there are certain people out there that it wouldn't be a love for. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't say it's super safe, but boy, is it a beautiful, cozy, floral fragrance. I mean, the cloves and vanilla alone are going to make it super cozy, but it totally works for warm weather. Like, I've worn this in every season, and it works in any season. It's perfect. So anyways, that is Lalique Lalique. Okay, next is one that, this is another one that can be worn anytime. I've worn this in cold weather. I've worn it in warm weather. I just think it's perfect. But this is one that is a perfect for me transition fragrance. I think last time I wore this was going from either summer to fall or fall to winter. It was definitely a transitional fragrance. And yeah, I pulled it again because it's going to be perfect for going into spring. This is Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey Absolu. And this smells very, very similar to the original Issey Miyake, which is a really beautiful, almost aquatic floral. Again, it's very 90s, but this one has like a sweet honeyed quality to it. So you still get the freshness and the crisp aspect of the original L'Eau d'Issey, but this one's just a little bit more well-rounded, and honeyed is like the perfect word for it. It smells like L'Eau d'Issey, but a honeyed version, and it's sweeter. It's definitely a little bit sweeter. Beautiful, cozy, perfect transition fragrance. So yeah, that is L'Eau d'Issey Absolu from Issey Miyake. I love it. I've heard from a few of you now that the new L'Eau d'Issey, I think it's a drop of rose, or it's a drop of something. I think it's a drop of rose, but I could be wrong. It could be a drop of something else. It's a new one. Everybody is saying that it is so good. So I need to get my hands on it because I'm such a lover of even just the original Issey Miyake L'Eau d'Issey. It's so beautiful. Okay, and then last but not least, this is my favorite time to pull out my Dior Pure Poison. I am, unlike most people, I like to wear my Pure Poison in the cold weather or colder weather rather than warm weather. It just works better on my skin in the cold, and I can smell it in the cold, and oh my gosh, do I love this. This is a beautiful, clean white floral with white amber and white musk in the base. So for me, this is just such a beautiful, clean, slightly musky white floral. It's got jasmine and tuberose and gardenia. Yeah, and that white musk in the base. It's beautiful. It's slightly sweet. It's clean smelling, but still super warm and almost skin-like. It's beautiful. This one disappears on me pretty quickly in the heat, which is why I usually reserve this for transition seasons, especially going into colder months. So I don't even do summer to fall for this one. I'll do fall to winter, or I'll do winter to spring and choose a chillier day, like usually in April or the beginning of May when it's still getting chilly, is when I'll pull this out, because it's like perfect for, you want something lighter and brighter and clean and spring-like, but you're still not willing to give up that coziness. This is perfect. I do have an original bottle too, which I love. I'm so grateful for my original formulation. It's beautiful. I've heard the new formulation is really good too. But I don't know. I haven't smelled that one. I'll need to get my nose on a bottle. But yeah, I do love this. And this is a beast on me in colder weather or cooler weather. Once it gets really hot out, I can spray this on and it like evaporates off my skin immediately. I just can't smell anything. But yeah, in cooler transition months, oh my gosh, it's perfection. So anyways, yeah, that is Pure Poison from Dior. And that is going to be it, guys. Holy cow, that was a long video. And yeah, I had a ton of fragrances that I still wanted to talk about. So I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.